Tuesday with licensed professional counselor Unetta Spring.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, man. It is Talking Out Tuesday with licensed professional counselor Unetta Spring. Good morning, Unetta.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
I saw on social media that you went on a vacation, so you had to breathe. You had to let your brain breathe.
Yes, and I had to decompartmentalize, huh?
Right. So it ain't even just being at the beach; it's the drive to the beach that's also relaxing. Which why, I chose to drive to my gig as opposed to going through the hustle and bustle of the airport.
Yeah, especially around this time of year with the leaves changing and it's so beautiful. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was singing to "Oh, Beautiful Christmas."
That's what you were singing?
Oh, yeah, I was saying, man, when I saw those leaves change, it was beautiful, though. So today you was talking about compartmentalizing and how to keep your mental state in check.
Yeah, because we kind of touched on it last week, but we got so much engagement, on social media about it, so I feel like it would be important for us to touch on it again. I'll explain what compartmentalization is. So compartmentalization is a subconscious psychological defense mechanism. What we do is we use that to avoid cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is basically the discomfort we have when we hold two opposing or contradictory beliefs in our mind. Okay, so you remember a couple weeks ago we talked about the concept of duality, like holding that two beliefs that yes, I'm strong, but I struggle too. So that's kind of like that dissonance, the discomfort that we have when we have two opposing things, kind of trying to take up space in our mind. Sometimes we can hold them together and recognize them, but sometimes it's difficult. And what compartmentalizing does, it allows us that separation between the two. So when we can't hold both of those beliefs, it's uncomfortable. It brings up anxiety or conflict within us. We can kind of put it in its compartment so that we can still function, and do what we need to do. And I think we all have days like that when we have to put things aside in order to get the job done. So that's what compartmentalizing kind of allows us to do. So what are some ways that you guys feel like you've had to compartmentalize?
For me, that's Eva and Brett, for real.
Well, you know what? I think, the way you break it down makes it make so much sense because you can't carry all of it with you. Me looking at the news every day and figuring out my own level of activism and being active, and then having to be a loving mom and wife. And you can't be frustrated, though the world frustrates you in what is going on in the election and the government. It's frustrating, but how do you, try to figure out a way not to let it take over you? And so that's where I compartmentalize so that I'm not, snappy with my husband or irritable at the store or impatient with my children,
Yeah, perfect example, Eva, perfect example. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple healthy compartmentalization and unhealthy, just so you can kind of know the difference between the two. So healthy compartmentalization is conscious. So you're actively aware of what's happening and what you're doing, right? To some degree, not all the time, but to some degree, unhealthy compartmentalization is unconscious. So you're not even aware of what's happening. Something upsets you, something is unpleasant, and you automatically disconnect and shut down. That's not healthy, right? Healthy compartmentalization acknowledges your feelings and emotions. So it understands, I'm aware of what's happening. I know how I feel. I'm hurt by this. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. Unhealthy compartmentalization does not recognize feelings and emotions, okay? So those are some differences. Another difference is unhealthy compartmentalization generalizes. So if something is upsetting, I'm just going to throw the whole situation away, right? Yep. If I don't like my job, then I'm throwing the whole job away. I'm not looking at it saying, okay, there's a part of this that I don't like, so I'm going to put the part that I don't like in a compartment so that I can function while I come back and process that part that doesn't work for me, right? And that's what healthy compartmentalization does. It always revisits the situation. So it doesn't just suppress it and ignore it and walk away from it. it puts it in its place, right? It puts it in a compartment, but then it commits to coming back and revisiting whatever it was that was upsetting, or, you know, whatever it was that's a problem.
That's hard sometimes, Janetta, because there be so many different things going on in our lives. Like, when one thing come up, we got to deal with that. So it's not like you ignoring it, but you got to push it to the side because the next thing is right in your face. So,
I'm talking about
then right there, it's like it's one thing after another. So it's sometimes you forget to go back to it because you don't want to go back to it, but then it'll come hit you in the face again. So this is a good segment because it's hard to separate when you just got to push it to the side and move on to the next thing. Then you go back to it, and then you either you down again, or you still trying to figure it out. Like, it's just, it all gets like really hectic.
Yeah, for sure. It is. And that's where therapy comes in, right? Because you can compartmentalize by journaling, right? Getting it out, write it down, set it aside, and then revisit it in therapy. Revisit it through prayer or through meditation or talking with somebody. But the key is to come back and address it, because compartmentalization is a powerful tool, but any powerful tool, if it's not used properly, it could be detrimental to our emotional health and wellness. So we don't want to continue to stuff things down and not go back and talk about it and revisit it.
There it is. Hey, thank you so much for coming on with us. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
So y'all can find me on social media at Springforth Counseling. You can follow me on YouTube, Yanetta Spring, or you can text the word spring to 55444 to subscribe to my mailing list.
Yeah, I saw a picture of you at this event. That wasn't you with them black stockings and white shoes on, was it?
No.
You know what?
Them Usher Boy ones.
You had on the Usher Boy ones, Council Spring.
And that was a part of my uniform. I had to compartmentalize to do my job.
All right, y'all, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.